Just about everyone seems to agree the evidence against Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger is somewhere between pretty strong to really, really, really strong. After all, you have surveillance video from numerous places which appears to match his white Hyundai Elantra. I mean, that's what led them to identify him in the first place. Then you have cell phone data that matches the trajectory of his car the morning of the murders and the day after. And of course, what appears to be his DNA on a knife sheath left at the crime scene. This image shows a similar type of sheath. But Kohberger's Pennsylvania attorney, Monroe County Chief Public Defender Jason LaBar, tells Law and Crime Network it can all easily be refuted.
I had an opportunity to obviously go through the affidavit of probable cause several times now. I looked it over carefully. It's a strong circumstantial case, but the evidence, when it's viewed individually, you can attack that evidence as a defense attorney. If you take the DNA evidence that's recovered from the sheath, for instance, I believe that to potentially be touch DNA, transfer DNA, which would mean that it could remain on that sheath for an indefinite period of time if undisturbed. That's one way of attacking that type of evidence that doesn't put him at the scene of the crime the night of, just that he merely touched that sheath at some point in time.
And the sheath was found at the house. And LaBar is skeptical of the cell phone records and surveillance video featured prominently in the arrest warrant.
The white Elantra can't be determined to be his white Elantra. I mean, there's circumstantial evidence indicating that it could potentially be his white Elantra, but there's certainly not direct evidence. They don't have direct evidence that he's driving the white Elantra. They're using cell phone pings, which we all know as defense attorneys aren't GPS location coordinates. If it was GPS location coordinates, you're talking down to a meter as to where Bryan Kohberger was at the time of these crimes. Whereas a cell phone tower ping is that you're within a radius of that tower up to 20 miles. And obviously, Mr. Kohberger lived within 10 miles of the University of Idaho where these crimes were committed. So certainly he could ping at any moment in time near the actual crime.
Now, a prominent defense attorney agrees, saying the case against Kohberger is not nearly as convincing as many, including me, have suggested. Kohberger, charged with the murders of the 4 University of Idaho students, will now be sitting in jail for the next 6 months as his lawyers go through all the evidence against their client. A judge granted the request last week to push the preliminary hearing until the end of June. I suspect they wanted a delay because they have little at this point to work with, since the evidence against Kohberger seems so solid. His attorneys weren't losing anything by moving slowly, and it can only help them, but some aren't as cynical about the defense case. Joining me now is that attorney that I mentioned, Lara Uretzian, a former attorney for convicted murderer Scott Peterson. She thinks there are a lot of areas of weakness in the prosecution's case. Thanks so much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. So it seems to me, when you take all the evidence together, it's a very strong case. After all, when they identified Kohberger from his car, they had no way of knowing that his DNA would match the DNA from the crime scene, right?
Right. Listen, when you look at the evidence as a whole, I mean, this is a circumstantial case after all, right? When we bring everything together, yes, it does come across as a pretty strong case. But again, as criminal defense attorneys, our job is to dissect this evidence and not just look at it as a whole only, but to look at every single evidence and try and attack each evidence and poke holes, right, in the reliability of that evidence and the strength of that evidence to advocate for our client. So I would expect for the defense attorneys in this case to literally focus on each and every piece of evidence, whether it be the cell towers or the cell phone information or the footprints left outside of the door of one of the roommates, or anything else in this case, and try to show some of the issues and the problems and convince hopefully a jury or a judge that this is problematic and they shouldn't be relying on this particular evidence.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.